What's up, family? This your boy SUAVE B.O.S, man. Basically, um, just trying to figure out how to get a cheat code in the game to go live and review stuff and give information. This one, so here we go. Sister Rashida, the bass Sister Sunny Day on Black News 102, a SNO platform, and let's get to it.
Links out. Let me get all the links out. Okay, I see Dagger Squad in the building. They ready. Dagger Squad is on deck.
Let me get my chat out because y'all know when I'm looking away from you, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, sisters. I'm just trying to keep my eyes on the chat as well, okay?
All right, no problem.
When I'm looking away from you, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, sisters. I'm just trying to keep my eyes on the chat as well, okay?
All right, y'all got that. Whose is that? Who's doing that?
When I'm looking away from you, that was me.
Okay. Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another SNO TV, House of Consciousness production. You already know what it is. We're going to bring y'all some powerful information. And these two queens here, these three sisters here, is going to show y'all, the brothers, how to get a debate in. We're going to go in. It's going to be fun. And it's all love. Nobody up here hates nobody. There's absolutely no name calling, but we're just going to bring in some powerful information, and I want to introduce to you my sister. Y'all all know her. She's the powerful sister, and she is the moderator. She goes by the name of Sister Empress, the General Set-Met. Peace and Black Power to you, Queen. Introduce the sisters.
Peace.
I love Sister Segment, man. I do. That's my girl right there, man. I ain't had the chance to personally chop it up with her yet. But yeah, I appreciate her backstory, man. I love her. If y'all don't know her, look her up. Queen Empress Segment. There she is.
And Black Power. So everybody in the chat, peace and Black Power. Y'all already know what it is. If you can hear me very clearly, put your black fist up in the chat. You already know. Popping. Okay? It's all love and it's all beautiful when you're black. Okay, so first thing, let's put it out there what we're talking about today. So the topic of this debate is darkism and Kendrick Lamar. I'm very interested, just as everyone else. Can y'all hear me very clearly?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
And whoever that
so
is,
the topic is darkism.
Whoever that is watching right now, could you like this and drop a comment right quick? Just say what's up.
And Kendrick Lamar. So first thing I want to do is ask the sisters to introduce themselves. And when I say introduce yourself, I want, anything that you feel like you want the people to know. Your credentials, your projects, books written, etc., who you are. Very quickly, just about a minute for each of those. So Sister Rashida, introduce yourself. Give some credentials, let the people know who you are.
All right, my name is I'm the world's first dark-skinned activist. I'm the inventor of dark-skin activism. I'm the queen of dark skin. I'm the woman who put this dark skin issue on the map. I'm also the author of 5 books and counting, including A Dark-Skinned Woman's Revenge, Darkism, 25 Ways Dark-Skinned People Are Discriminated Against, How to Be...
Like, real talk, I ain't gonna start. Like, her whole intro threw me off. Like... She just came in like she kicked the door in, man, and the door wide open. I don't know if she just fucked up with Sunny Day. I don't know what comments she's left on her Facebook, what she tagged in, none of that shit. But, like, real talk, she just came off snapping. Like, I put the dark skin issue on the map. How fucking closed are you to your own environment that you would even concede that you are the one who put the dark? I don't even know. I ain't did no research. I just heard this, but I'm pretty sure somebody was like, hey, we're treating ourselves worse in the aspect that our dark-skinned women get less, come on. But, I mean, I feel the sister struggle, her pain. But if you read my comment on it, like I said, I think she mixes her personal conflict with how the dark-skinned woman is treated in society or amongst our people with the general, like, so with her personal struggle with the dark-skinned struggle, and I think that throws it on.
The hottest dark-skinned chick on the planet, a dark-skinned girl's triumph, the Rashida Strober story, and I'm currently working on tonight. Relationships. I'm going to hone in on that after I give you a backdrop.
Okay, Sister Sunny Day, please give us an introduction to yourself.
All right, I'm ready to be here. So, Sunny Day, I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, a mother, a student of African Studies, business student as well. I happened to encounter the Sister Rashida. We have an article in some way about Kendrick Lamar and his exploitation of black consciousness, black women, black issues, in efforts to gain a black fan base, and ultimately that he let the people down because his fiance is not black. So that's what sort of opened the door for me to have a discussion with the sister. I will say, first of all, I'm not here to debate colorism, okay? I'm not here to debate darkism. You can't debate an irrefutable fact. Darkism has existed. It exists. It will probably continue to exist unless we can find some sort of resolve, which is why I came here this evening.
All right, well, thank you both very much. And I quickly want to ask an introduction question. Okay, so to both the sisters, what is your expected outcome at the end of this debate? What is your expected outcome? And what do you want the community to walk away with?
Well, I'd like to answer that. First of all, I did some light research on you, Sister Rashida. And I came across your interviews and some of your speeches. And I don't have any clarity on the activism aspect of your platform. I know you're self-proclaimed queen of dark skin. I understand that you say there's activism, but when I look into your Facebook posts, when I hear your speeches, your commentary, I hear a lot of focus on the issues surrounding darkism, the discrimination, the being disenfranchised, right? Don't debate you there. But what I also hear is you isolating light-skinned black women. And you made one comment that really encouraged me to debate you, which you said that a biracial woman is not a black woman. You also said that a light-skinned woman is not a black woman. So I'm looking for clarity. I have a couple of questions. Like, number one, the activism piece.
1 second. Give me a second.
All right.
Give me a second, Sonny. We're going to get there. I wanted to ask this question so we can get a basis, because the community wants to know what's this topic even about. Darkism and Kendrick Lamar, everybody is really confused on exactly where we're going with this. So this is why I asked this one question. Give me a little 30-second answer. And the question is, what is your expected outcome at the end of this debate, and what do you want the community to walk away from? Because as we move into this black consciousness or black awareness, however you want to put it, we got to find solutions to this. Facts. What is your expected outcome at the end of this debate? And what do you want the community to walk away from? Sunny?
Okay, for me, I'm looking for a solution. I would love to hear a solution from the sister because I haven't yet. Okay? I would like to see within the Darkism campaign more positive elements about dark-skinned women, not just their disadvantages, but how do we counter that? Okay? And include me in the process, me being a light-skinned woman.
Rashida?
I am here to debate darkism because that is the whole reason why this whole interaction is taking place. And so what people will walk away with is a concrete understanding of how darkism began and some solutions that I have actually set forth to eradicate darkism.
Okay. Well, I thank you both sisters very much. I think we have a good understanding on where we're going with this. I want to first do some rules of engagement. Okay? So there will be no name call. And these are not debatable. There will be no name call. There will be no personal disrespect. Okay? Be mindful of the time. Okay? Let's be mindful of the time. And one mic, one voice. When one person is talking, we need you to respect that person, let them finish their point, and you will have ample time for a rebuttal. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. One mic, one voice. We don't want to talk over each other. We want the people to understand both of your points very clearly, okay?
Absolutely.
No problem. Okay. So let's start by doing this. What is this? Something, hold on. Somebody trying to get in on my, there we go. Let's start by doing this. Sister Rashida, I understand that you have a PowerPoint that you want to bring forth to the people. And you said it's about 30 minutes, correct?
Yes, somewhere along 30 minutes. We'll try to keep it short.
Okay. Well, first let me do this. Let's get a definition of what we're talking about. What is darkism? What is darkism?
Darkism is simply the discrimination of dark-skinned people.
Okay, Sunny Day, what's your definition? Is it the same?
Well, the sister coined the term, so I asked her, in the dialogue we had, I asked her for a definition, and that's what she gave, so therefore that is what it is.
Okay, so let's make it more a wider spectrum. Is darkism the same thing as colorism?
Yes, it's an aspect of colorism for darks, just like it would be lightism or brownism, correct.
Okay, so this is the same. Is this the same old conversation, sisters? Is this the house nigga, field nigga conversation?
It is. For me, it is.
Rashida, Sister Rashida?
Well, I would prefer to address that with the PowerPoint.
Okay. So we're gonna start here. Since the Sister Sunny Day has issue, right? So this is the reason why we're having this debate, right? You had issue with the sister's stance and had some of the statements that the sister had, correct?
Correct. They were concerning.
Okay. So let's give our sister Rashida the time to put her stance is, so all the people can understand exactly where she's coming from with darkism, and then we'll move to Sunny Day so we can find out exactly what your concerns are with the things that she is saying. Everybody agreeing on that?
Sounds great.
All right. Let's get ready to rumble! Come on, Sister Rashida, let's get your PowerPoint.
All right, so first of all, I want to say at the outset that darkism came out of slavery and extended itself into contemporary times. So, for example, Vernon Keith and Cedric Herring, they cited a study by a person named E. Franklin Frazier about middle-class blacks, which historically consisted of mulattoes and light-skinned black people. Now, these people were the leaders historically of the black community. They had more privilege than what E. Franklin Frazier called pure blacks. Now, during slavery, the mulattoes or the light-skinned black people, they were emancipated by their white fathers. After slavery, due to their kinship with their white fathers, they were given advantages over pure blacks, such as education, property, and high-status jobs. So these advantages were then passed down to their children. So this is a historical framework that we must view darkism through those lenses. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is go ahead and share my screen with you guys right now, because I have prepared a presentation that I think will help you to understand my framework in regards to how and why I created this concept of darkism. So bear with me 1 second, and I'm going to go ahead and start the slideshow. All right, so Theory of Darkism is a book that I'm currently working on, and again, this book, you will begin to understand why I make the commentary I make, why I have to play a dark-skinned woman's revenge, why I became the dark-skinned activist. So who am I? Once again, I'm a lecturer, motivational speaker, former American government professor.
Did she just say something about the black woman's revenge? Is that what?
Is a book that I'm currently working on, and again, this book, you will begin to understand why I make the commentary I make, why I have to play a dark-skinned woman's revenge, why I became the dark-skinned.
You see how fast she said?
Activist. So who am I? Once again, I'm a lecturer, motivational speaker, former American government professor, actor, producer, performer. I'm also a graduate of the University of South Florida with a master's degree in political science, a bachelor's degree in history, and the author of 5 books and 2 plays on dark skin. I'm also the first dark skin activist and inventor of dark skin activism. Now, I want to say thank you very much to Sunny Day, because a lot of people, a lot of black women, should I say, they've taken issue with my stance in regards to, dark skin activism, darkism, colorism. And when I said, hey, look, let's sit down and have a debate or have a discussion, they have not been forthcoming. So I want to say to you, first of all, thank you very much for taking up the challenge to have this sit down and really begin to understand. So my first disclaimer is this: I don't have an issue if you reference any of the information that I'm presenting, but as an academic, I adhere to strong standards of intellectual honesty, so please cite. The goals for me is to clear up fabrications about my statements, philosophy, and beliefs in regards to darkism. Also to show that darkism is illogical given the dark-skinned human blueprint. And also to find solutions to eradicating darkism. Now, we do have points of convergence, and I noticed that in a Facebook video that Sunny Day made, you said some things, but I'm going to get to that. But we can agree on the fact that black people come in all colors. Other points of convergence that we have based on your Facebook video that you made, I believe about a week ago, you said, and I quote, "We need a dark-skinned activist." You also said dark-skin discrimination is a reality, and unfortunately, it will continue to be a reality. You also said her position...
I ain't gonna lie, she killed on that research though. That whole PowerPoint, it's like 2 different shows. There's the PowerPoint, and then you start another show where there's just like conversation.
Is needed, critical. Right. Other points of convergence, points of divergence. The flaws in darkism, as you phrased it. Per your video you released on Facebook, you said, number 1, she asked all black men of all shades and complexions to only marry and date and produce with dark-skinned women. Now, I'm a person that deals with facts and evidence, so number 1, I have never said that. That has never been my stance. And if I did indeed say that, I would like to see facts, evidence, and proof that I stated that. Number 2, you said, and I quote, "A biracial woman," she says, "is not a black woman. She does not say this about the brothers. She only says this about the sisters." Right. And I'm here to clear that up. A biracial woman is not a black woman. A biracial woman is a biracial woman. If a person does not have 2 black parents, in my opinion, they're not fully black. I do not subscribe to the one-drop rule. I think it's a fallacy. The one-drop rule, as in a lot of laws that are written in this country, are made to suit the people who run things. So that's the framework in which I look at the one-drop rule, deeming that if you have 1 drop of black blood in you, that you are black. It doesn't make any sense. In regards to, she does not say this about the brothers. She only says this about the sisters. I actually do say that any person that has, for example, let me give you a concrete example. Former President Barack Obama is not a black man. He is a mixed race man because he has a white mother and a black father. That would make him mixed race. So I do say it about the men and the women. Another point of divergence is, you say, and I quote, she also...
Well, I'll say this. In all actuality, Barack Obama not being a black man don't got nothing to do with his parents. It has something to do with the culture he came up in. The fact that he had 1 black parent and 1 white parent gave him the option to either be white or black. Now he's living the white lifestyle, the white culture. Of course, he faces black discriminations on minor levels and, on day-to-day discrimination. And then once he got the fame, there was a discrimination on the fact that he was, black. So Obama is like, in order to just say what race he is, you have to say he's black. In order to say what culture, what lifestyle, you have to say he's white. You can't. It's like you can't just broad brush his lifestyle. That's what I'm saying. But by the statistics that by the tool of measurement that she going by, she's saying he's mixed. Fine, I get what she's saying, but all of us are. All of us are mixed. She's mixed. She's saying because her parents are black, she don't have a white mother or white father. What about a white great-grandparent? A white great-great-grandparent? So, that's crazy to me because a white person can have sex with a black person, and then another white person, another set of people who are white, one black, has sex. Then their babies can get with each other. Now, that's a black person. And then that baby get with a black person who had nothing but black ancestry. Now, that's a black person, but you clearly have white people in the family. So, that whole little thing right there is crazy. But, yeah. Okay, let's keep going. My bad.
A woman, let me clear that up. Actually, what I'm going to do is clear that up. So just keep following. So let's talk about Africa. I'm going to clear that up. First of all, Africa's population is over 1 billion people, making it the largest continent on Earth. Now, the majority of the people are melanated. And as I stated earlier, black people do come in all shades. However, the majority of people in Africa are dark-skinned. This is why they produce the most melanin. And now there's two kinds of melanin. You have the phenomelanin and you have the eumelanin. People with phenomelanin, which is like a reddish, yellowish color, they produce lighter skin pigmentation. Dark-skinned people have what's called eumelanin, and they produce the most brown or darker skinned black pigmentation. Now, the main reason why there are more eumelanated people in Africa, meaning more dark-skinned people in Africa, is because of the climate. Africa is a tropical environment producing a lot of ultraviolet radiation, which is why melanin is there to protect against that, the radiation. So there are cells that's called melanites that actually protect against ultraviolet radiation. So to say that the majority of people in Africa, there's 1 billion plus people that are dark skinned, it's not just to say it, just to brag about it. It's actually based on facts. So remember, I'm the type of person that deals with facts. So continue right along. So here we have an example of light-skinned black women. These are black women. They're not mixed. The Igbo women. This is a light-skinned black couple, an Igbo couple. These are people from the Nigerian tribe. Of course, Nelson Mandela, he's a light-skinned black man who a lot of people respect, who I myself respect, from South Africa. Then we have the Bushman San people of South Africa. Obviously, they're light-skinned. Obviously, we can see that they are black people. This is a Bushman San woman from South Africa. Obviously, we can look at her and tell that she is a light-skinned black woman. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the majority population in terms of, or the majority phenotype, the majority skin tone, whatever you want to call it. So we see Nigerian children here, dark-skinned children, and of course there is a light-skinned black child there. We see a dark-skinned Ghanaian man. We see a Sudanese family that is dark-skinned. We see a Gambian little girl that's dark-skinned. We see Congo people that are dark-skinned. We see a Sierra Leonean family that's dark-skinned. We also see a Senegalese girl that's dark-skinned. And by the way, just a side note, a lot of people from the continent, they have thought that I was from Senegal. This little girl reminds me of me, and that's such a compliment, so thank you if y'all ever watch this. We see Ugandan men. They're dark-skinned. So Egypt is the cradle of civilization, and the majority of people were dark-skinned people. Now, here's the proof, because again, we got to deal with proof and evidence. So Dr. Diop, his book, Civilization or Barbarism, He states the former predominance of the black civilization around the Mediterranean region is attested to by the unexpected existence of the pre-Hellenic black virgins and goddesses. All right, so let's see how these women look. These are pre-Hellenic, okay, going all the way back before the Roman Empire. You know, let's just take a look at what they look like. So here we have the ancient dark-skinned virgins and goddesses. So this book, I highly recommend you check it out, by Ian Begg, The Cult of the Black Virgin. Also, we have Ivan Van Sertima, Black Women in Antiquity. Now let's just take a quick look at how these black virgins and mother goddesses look. So the black mother here from 109 BC. We have the black virgin of Chartres, Isis again, the black Madonna, the Virgin of Saint Marcellus, Osiris. Actually, of course, obviously this is not a virgin, but just giving you guys more people that were actually depicted as dark-skinned. This ancient Egyptian woman is obviously dark-skinned, and if you look at her hair, it's what some people would call nappy or kinky or tightly coiled. So clearly we can see phenotypically that these people were dark-skinned. So real quickly, I want to honor the work of Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop, because, you know, he's done a lot to prove that the Egyptians were black, and he also dealt with phenotype. He's probably one of the most important Egyptologists and anthropologists of our time, black especially, because there was a lot of white Egyptologists that tried to disprove that the origin of the Egyptians were non-black. But he did a lot of work. So he's also a historian, a physicist, a linguist. He was also the director of the radiocarbon laboratory at the University of Dakar in Senegal, West Africa. And he's written a lot of books. The African Origin of Civilization, like I said, Civilization or Barbarism. He wrote about the pre-colonial condition of Africans. So he's done a lot of work. In addition to Dr. Louis Leakey. Now we see this white man here, but what I want to say about him is his greatest work and his greatest belief was understanding that black people were at the center of humanity, and he believed and he proved that human beings originated in Africa. And there's a site called Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania. And this is where he and a team of other anthropologists did a lot of excavations. And, you know, anthropologists deal with prehistory, pre-writing. So they have to dig up fossils and they have to dig up artifacts, and it tells the story of who did what and when before there was writing. So his work is truly groundbreaking. So I want to just keep moving right along. So the scholarly findings are, of course, humanity began in East Africa around the Great Lakes region. And that includes Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan. That's very important. South Sudan, for people that would like to say that the original Egyptians were not black, Sudan and Egypt are right by each other in the Nile, and the people in Sudan are jet black. Oh my gosh. The first European was a Grimaldi black man. Racial differentiation later took place in France and Spain, around those areas, around the end of the last glaciation period. So that's how we end up with other races. That was like the offset of races that we know, the Asians, the Europeans, and so on and so forth. So phenotype, let's go back to this concept of phenotype. It's the ultimate proof that the ancient Egyptians were dark-skinned. So let's take a look. Again, courtesy of Dr. Diop. There's other scholars, don't get me wrong, but Dr. Diop, he did extensive research in proving phenotypically how Egyptians look. So we have the Sphinx here, which is a Bantu. We have the modern Bantu, which we can clearly see they're dark-skinned. We have the Egyptian princess, and which, if you look to the top left, that's the Egyptian princess, and the other young ladies around her are Senegalese. You can see the striking resemblance. Of course, they're all dark-skinned. We have the Egyptian lady with the thumbs. We have the estate of Egyptian priests. Clearly, they're depicted as dark-skinned. We have King Narmer, otherwise known as King Menes, which was the first pharaoh that united Upper and Lower Egypt. We can see the features there clearly. This is very important. This is the tomb of Ramesses. And again, going back to archaeology, what they have to do before there was written history, they have to go back and again excavate. And they went into the tomb of Ramesses, and this is what they found. And why this is important is it showed how Egyptians saw themselves. The Egyptians saw themselves as black. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but A, which is the one to the far left, that's an Egyptian, dark skin. B is an Indo-European. C is other blacks throughout Africa, and D is a Semite. So this was found in the tomb of Ramesses. So clearly, the ancient Egyptians understood and told the story, you know, in their drawings and in their artistic endeavors. They knew that they were black. It's clear. So this is a picture of the Grimaldi black. This is just one. There's others. The first full European human being. So then the question becomes, if the originators of humanity and civilization were originally black, dark-skinned people, then why darkism? Why darkism? Let's get into that. So darkism's theoretical origin. So after years of research, I observed that the scholarly research only went as far as colorism. And that's why I said, I am not here to debate colorism. I'm here to debate darkism. Because darkism is a new paradigm. It's a new framework because we're dealing exclusively with dark skin discrimination, which the scholars, I would say the activists, these people have ran away from it. They have not, they focused on colorism, which deals with all skin tone biases and discrimination. It doesn't hone in on dark skin discrimination. So, but I would like to say, I want to honor Alice Walker because she did coin the term colorism in 1983 or 1982. So this is why you have the dark-skinned activists. This is why you have me writing the books and engaged in the activism that I've been engaged in since 1998. So continue right along. So the theory of darkism, I highly recommend that you at some point get the book. So darkism's origins. We're looking at a situation of global darkism that started with invasions on the continent of Africa. And these invasions culminated into slavery, colonialism, and capitalist expansion. European need for expansion via the framework of manifest destiny, which is really imperialism, started with trade, and then the slave trade, of course. They were doing like regular trade before slavery. So you have the main European political actors, the Portuguese, the British, the French, and the Spanish, and then finally Africa gets independence somewhere around the 1960s. So this man right here, John L. O'Sullivan, we have him to thank for propagating this notion of manifest destiny. He was a journalist that believed that it was the right of Europeans to go around the world and pretty much conquer and control things and control people and tell them what to do and tell them how to be. So he's the one that actually coined the phrase manifest destiny. So now we get into a situation where after all that's happened, I just gave you a very brief synopsis of it. We get to the contemporary impact of darkism, and this is where I come in. And this is my book, by the way, Darkism, 25 Ways Dark-Skinned People Are Discriminated Against. So the outcomes, the result of global darkism is underdevelopment, and this is why this is so important to me, because at the heart of what I do, it's really about human equality, and it's about economic development. So underdevelopment and dependency, that's the outcome of global darkism. So let's keep going. So Walter Rodney is a scholar that has done extensive work on showing how Europe underdeveloped Africa, and I highly recommend you get his book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. Very good read, and it'll give you an in-depth understanding of how we got into our economic situation that we're currently in. So global darkism is pretty much the end result. So this concept is discussed in my book, Systemic Economic Darkism. And I highly recommend that you get the book and you read it. It's a deeply rooted system where mechanisms are put in place to impede dark-skinned people from economic progress through policies and practices of socioeconomic marginalization, including, but not limited to, social exclusion. We're going to talk a little bit about that social exclusion, economic exclusion, educational exclusion, and the criminalization of dark-skinned people. So, per the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund, Africa leads the world. This is an example of systemic economic darkism in contemporary times. Right now, Africa leads the world in poverty. These are dark-skinned people. Systemic economic darkism. It's about maybe 3 or 4 of these countries that are on here that are not African countries. So the social impact of darkism. It leads to an emotional impact. And if you guys get a chance, and if you email me, I will gladly send it to you. I wrote an article back in 2014 called Dark Skin Mental Abuse. And this article culminates into my view of black male-female relationships, the area that darkism has impacted my life the most. So I decided I'm going to focus in on it and hone in on it and create a movement around it, because I want to figure out why is this happening and how can I solve it. So we get to the impact of darkism on black male-female relationships. And that's really why we're here tonight. But I had to set up the historical context. So let's start with slavery. From 1619 to about 1865, darkism's impact really hit. So basically, we have a situation where dark skin equals no privilege, mulatto equals privilege, or light skin equals privilege. So, for example, darkism versus privilege. You have the mulatto-dominated sectors during, or industries, or however you want to name it, or jobs during slavery. They got the best jobs: house servants, cooks, personal servants, butlers, coachmen. And this is based on research. Keith and Herring, guys can research this information, research the researchers. Dark-skinned slaves dominated field work, heavy lifting, lots of bending, hours in the hot sun and rain. They did the unskilled labor. They were subject to a greater amount of beatings. So if we look at Reconstruction and beyond, darkism impacts black male and female relationships. As blacks gain more education and status, this is very important because this is what took place during Reconstruction and after. They married up into the formerly guarded mulatto elite. And this pattern of darkism persisted into the civil rights era and beyond, the era in which I made the comments about Kendrick Lamar. So let's keep going. So darkism relationship examples. So for example, high status black men are more likely to choose non-dark women for marriage and dating. And there are the scholars listed. You can look them up. College-age, light-skinned women more likely to be in a relationship than dark-skinned college-age women. And there's the information, the scholarly information there. You can feel free to look up the researcher. Anyway, 23% dark-skinned women were found to be in relationships according to this study. 41% medium brown-skinned women were found to be in relationships, and 45% light-skinned women were found to be in relationships. So the next thing, dark skin was the most common selection for the statement. People think
not to throw off a bill. I was trying to let her get through all the information, but one of the points I was trying to make when I called in is that within our own society, and I really feel like it's a difference between the dark skin, light skin, the dark versus light skin battle in women, and the dark skin versus light skin battle in men. But I was saying that dark-skinned women are hollered at, and this is what I've observed. Dark-skinned women are hollered at with more the expectation to have sex and less expectation of actually having a relationship. But lighter-skinned women, men are more willing to get into a relationship to seek the sex than just accept that, okay, you're not, going to sleep with me. Well, I ain't finna take it that far and boo you up just to see, what it's like. But I think like they would do that. I've seen them do this with lighter skinned women, So.
Skin is the most unattractive. 77% stated that they thought dark skin was the most unattractive. Other examples, 64% of participants in the study said that it's the hardest for dark-skinned women when looking for a spouse. Black men don't want us. Black men don't choose us. This is what, and I go off of empirical evidence. This was my own observation. When I did a show on the Dark Skin Activist Tour in Tucson in March, the women told me that black men don't want us. This is what they told me out of their mouths. Continuing on. So how socioeconomic problems make relationships worse. Let's take a look. Jail and no jobs. So high unemployment rates among black males, high incarceration rates. So over 50% of black men are incarcerated, although they make up about 6% of the population. According to the Sentencing Project, less than 200,000 black men were in prison in 1970. By 2007, over 1 million were in prison. By the 1950s, most black and white women were married. However, by the 20th century, a decline, especially for black women, in the marriage department. So the implications for black women and children, 69% of black children were born to unwed mothers. Getting back to the relationships based upon skin tone, 55% of light-skinned women, this study found to be married, 30% medium brown-skinned females found to be married, 23% of dark-skinned females found to be married. Per a population survey conducted in this particular study, there are 71 black males to 100 black females. There are 119 white males to 100 white females. Now, when employment is included as a criteria, the ratio drops. So 46 black males to 100 black females, 90 white males to 100 white females. So 20% of light-skinned women have children under 18, but have never been married, in comparison to 35% for dark-skinned black women. The statistic is 9% for white women. So black spouses of mixed-race females can earn 21% more than black spouses of non-mixed females. The poverty rate for young mixed married females is 7% and 12% for non-mixed black females. For older mixed race married females, the poverty rate is 3% compared to 7% for non-mixed race married older black females. 65% of black men married to white women have more than 12 years of education, in comparison to 57% of black men married to black women. Black men married to white women have a higher income than black women married to black men. And you can see the numbers right there. 31% of black males married to white wives are in managerial positions, in comparison to 26% married to black wives. Mixed race females marry spouses with slightly higher educational levels than non-mixed race black females. Household income is 16% more for older mixed race females in comparison to non-mixed race households. So that's a wide gap, $90,209 versus $76,047. So the pool of marriageable